Hey everybody, it's Miss Angela again from Boys and Girls Club of North Alabama with this week's Try It Thursday. So for this week, we're going to do a kind of Mother's Day themed activity that uses flowers and some stuff that you've probably got already at home. Let's get going.
So here's the equipment that you're going to need for this experiment today. First thing you're going to need is some food coloring. Any color will work, doesn't really matter which one it is. You're going to need some flowers, fresh cut flowers like the ones you get from the store. The best ones for this experiment are light colors. So you're going to be looking for white ones or light pink, any flowers like that. You also may need a sharp knife. That is not necessary. You can probably do most of the stuff with scissors. If you do decide to do this with a sharp knife, then please get parent help with that because this is kind of sharp. Okay. Now, I just went to the store and I bought a set of flowers. Super pretty. Like I said, they're out there right now for your mom. And I had a thought in my head. I thought to myself, I wonder if I put this in some colored water, what would happen? So let me show you that setup of what I actually did. Okay, so here's my experiment that I set up. I've got 4 containers. I've got the same types of flowers in each container, and you can see here that I've got colored water in each of them. I just put a couple of drops of food coloring in there. So I've got a red one, I've got an orange one, I've got a blue one right here, and then you're going to notice that I have a clear one. I have one that I didn't put any color in at all. And the reason for this is this is what scientists call a control or control group. And the other ones are my experimental group. As a scientist, we really want to figure out which one works and what doesn't. If you don't do a control, then you don't actually know what happens with your experiment. I actually set this experiment up a couple of days ago. I'm going to do some close-up shots here so you can see exactly what happened. This is my control flower. You can see this is the one that was in the clear water. So you can kind of see that all the petals are still white, and we kind of see it's like a little green on the inside there. So now we're going to take a look at the one that was in the red water right here. Interestingly, you can barely see it in this video, the tips of this are just starting to turn red. They're really, really hard to see, but you actually see they're very, just ever so slightly pink here on this one. The orange one is about the same. You can see a little bit of orange showing up there on the very tip of the leaf right there, but not a whole lot. And then finally, the blue one did something very different. You can really see that blue starting to show up in this flower here. Now, this experiment shows that the color actually makes a difference in this particular flower. That's a pretty interesting experiment here. But why did that happen? Is there something else we could do? Is there another experiment we could run? Does it make a difference if it's light blue versus dark blue? What about purple? All those types of things you can do with an experiment. And because this happened, I actually decided to do another experiment too, because I was thinking to myself, hey, what happens if it was a different flower? Okay, so I did a different experiment with these flowers. This time I put all the flowers in the exact same water. Happens to be purple water right here because I love the color purple. But I put different flowers in there and I wanted to see what happened. Now I have a rose here and I have a carnation. So if you want to take a look, they've been in there the exact same amount of time. Focus that for you. You can see that there's a little bit of purple tinge kind of happening at the edges of this flower. But if you look at the carnation, you're going to see a whole lot more purple showing up in this carnation in those little edges right there. So this tells me that there's something different going on with the carnation versus the flower. Again, this is the same experiment, but with the different flowers instead of the same flower with different colored water. So everyone, the main thing that you want to think about when you're doing these types of experiments is having a control
where there is no change to the things that you're doing versus a experiment with the different types of things that you're doing. So you can see here with the different flowers, I had a whole lot of different types of experiments that I could do. I could test different flowers. I could test different color water. You may want to do it for a different amount of time. So say I put this one in this color for 2 days versus 5 days and see what the differences are. This is a great experiment. You can do lots of different things with it. So we hope you guys have a wonderful Mother's Day and you experiment yourself at home. We will see you next week.